And to help us talk more about the Mid-Autumn Festival and its economic impact, I'm now joined by Yan Liang. She's the chair of economics at Willamette University. Thanks so much for joining us. How important is this holiday to the Chinese economy?
Yeah, good to talk to you, Karina. I think it is important because on the one hand, it does help to boost some of the service consumptions. People are traveling. We have seen data that this year, in terms of the number of trips, that has gone up by 6.3% compared to 2019's numbers. So the total trips reached 1.7 million, and also the total spending has reached about $9.3 billion, which is another 8% increase compared to the pre-pandemic 2019 level. So I think, this helped to boost the economy when it can use more domestic internal consumption demand to boost the economy. And I think, on the other hand, it's important to understand, this festival spending is also a barometer, right, to show the consumer sentiment, the consumer confidence. So I think as far as service consumption is concerned, it seems to be going pretty well, and that cooperates with the retail sales of services number from January to August. It has gone up by 6.9% year on year. So that's a good sign.
And how are consumers celebrating this holiday? You mentioned they're traveling. Are they also going out to enjoy family meals together, banquets, shopping, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Mid-Autumn Festival is about reunion, right? As the moon is getting rounder, it means, the family, the circle is reunited together. So yes, a lot of family activities, going out to have, meals together, or go to see the lantern festivals, or going out to appreciate the moon. So when we looked at the spending patterns, people are really willing to spend on services and experiences. That's why you see the booking for hotels, for attractions, for catering, for dining, for box offices. All of these are going up quite significantly. What people seem to be economized on are some of the goods. So I think that's interesting, sort of a spending pattern that people are prioritizing family experiences and also services, but not as much on consumption goods.
And you mentioned some figures about how much they're estimated to spend this year vis-a-vis last year, but how does that compare to pre-pandemic levels as well?
Right. So the number that I cited are actually comparison with the pre-pandemic years. So we're seeing, the total spending is up, by about 8% compared to 2019. And then the spending per trip was also slightly increased by 1.6% compared to the pre-pandemic level. So I think that is significant. It seems that the consumption of services seem to be able to, restore to that pre-pandemic level. And so that shows, the impacts, the negative impacts of pandemic on people's consumption and services seem to be fading. But again, I think, still due to some of the wealth effect, right, because the property market is still sluggish. So I think, overall consumption, especially on goods, is still not, going up or not growing as fast as we would like. It is still positive growth in the first 8 months by about 3.4% of the retail sales of consumer goods. But again, the number could be much better. That would help to provide more internal demand for the economic growth.
And then Golden Week is fast approaching in less than a month. What are the expectations there? We're anticipating the same level of spending and trips away?
I think so. I think, again, we need to keep in mind, August, the weather wasn't the most cooperative month. And so we're still seeing so much consumption in terms of services, traveling, and so on and so forth. So I'm confident that we'll probably like to see a very robust in terms of consumer spending for the Golden Week. But again, I think what concerns me a little bit more is on the, retail sales of goods side. And I think for that, we will need to see more, stability in the housing market, the stock market, to really boost consumer confidence and also provide more, positive wealth effect and so on and so forth. Then I think we'll likely to see more consumption on retail goods.
Absolutely, on the local level. But how many foreign visitors does the Mid-Autumn Festival draw to China, and how does that compare to, the previous year and pre-pandemic levels?
Right. I think that's a very good question. I think, with China's, now opening even more, by both, increasing international flights, but also giving a lot of visa-free for certain time periods for countries from, Europe and so on. I think that helps to attract more, tourists to China. And I think, it's a holistic effort, not only, to promote more internal tourism, but international tourism. So I think that definitely will help to boost the entire industry, as well as providing more, support for demand for the entire economy.